All right, I'm here with Kisa Davison. She is a business owner in Kalispell. She has served as chair of the Kalispell Business Improvement District for 8+ years, and she's running for mayor this year. Thanks for being with me, Kisa.
You're welcome. Thanks for the invitation.
Kisa, what made you want to run for mayor?
Well, I would say, first of all, it was more of a calling. Building community leadership, all of that kind of nurturing and development has definitely been a part of who I am, what I do. But when I looked out on the landscape of our community, what we've been through, what we can kind of see on the horizon coming, I felt like we needed some different leadership. And if there's one thing I do well, it's lead. So I decided to get off the bench, throw my hat in the ring, and see if Kalispell agrees that I should be the next mayor.
Yeah. Well, we've got some fun questions today. We're going to talk about the issues as well, but we're going to keep it moving kind of fast. Are you ready?
Fantastic. I'm ready.
All right.
Well caffeinated.
Well caffeinated. I'm glad one of us is. So where's your favorite place to hang out in Kalispell?
In Kalispell, favorite place to hang out is probably my house.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful kind of front area, but also backyard, and that's where I can always find my family, which is where I enjoy hanging out most, and the people I enjoy most. But I also love mooses. I love all the restaurants and breweries and places downtown. Flathead Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Can't get enough of Flathead Lake. And anywhere where, my people are, where I can hang out with folks who want to kick back and enjoy life.
Yeah. Well, we're getting some really pretty fall weather lately.
It's been amazing.
It's been so nice. If you had a beautiful day such as this and you had nothing to do, what are you doing?
I'm probably curled up with a book on my back patio and my dogs, who I would have to sneak back there because my husband doesn't like only have the dogs in the backyard because our backyard's so nice. We should probably edit that out, though. I don't want to throw myself under the bus. But I'd probably be curled up back there with a book, hanging out, reading, enjoying our weather. Yeah. Or I would be sitting at one of the coffee shops out here, hanging out with friends, or I would be at my daughter's house cuddling at my brand new grandbaby. Or I'm, especially a day like today where I know the golf course is going to close soon, I might sneak up and play a quick 9 at the Cameron at Buffalo Hills.
Yeah, we're all squeezing in our last little summertime, early fall activities for sure. So we're sitting here, we're right beside Main Street. I mean, it's busy most all the time. And there's lots of changes happening in Kalispell generally, but if you had a vision for Main Street here, what would it be?
I want Main Street to be what it needs to be for our community. So there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. Number one, we've got to move traffic. I hate that it's a major highway where we've got so much freight traffic going through. Obviously, all of us use Main Street to get where we need to go. I'm not against that. I hate that there's so much freight traffic that's a thoroughfare. It makes it really loud, and all that heavyweight is actually just hard on the roads. So yes, we need to move traffic. I wish there was a different way for us to move the freight traffic through our county than right through the downtown of Kalispell. I would love to see more shops. I would love to see both restaurants and coffee places and entertainment, but also retail stores. I'm looking across the street at the bookshelf right now, which I love. I'm a sucker for a good bookstore. My husband's a sucker for a good record store. So, my friends and I, we kind of all have a list of the places that we'd like to see downtown. Mm-hmm. But what's beneath all of that is that what we're all looking for is a place that we can go that hits the spot. So whether that's hitting the spot because you want to hang out with your friends or family, hitting the spot because you don't want to disappear into the aisles of a bookstore, or go pick up a gift or hang out with the girlfriends on a Saturday afternoon and go shopping. We all kind of have our idea of what hits the spot. That's what I want for downtown, for all the folks in Kalispell to see downtown as a place that hits the spot for them.
Yeah. Well, back to some fun questions. You mentioned that you're a coffee drinker.
I am.
What's your coffee order?
Well, just today I ordered 2 coffees, an iced Americano for later, and then an iced chai with skim milk and not so much sweetness for this morning.
Oh, that sounds great. I've been getting 2 coffees in the morning as well. I feel like it's just, maybe it's the weather where like we wake up and it's cold. I want a hot coffee, and then I know
later
it's going to get hot later, so I want a cold coffee.
Yeah. Well, and I knew today was going to be that kind of a day that I needed to have another cup of coffee to dig into. So
yeah,
preempt planning.
totally. Well, and you mentioned you're a reader. What are you reading right now?
Let's see. I just finished Christine Carbo book. Do you know Christine?
Yeah.
I love her stories because they're all written kind of in our backyard, and I like a good suspense novel. I'm reading that right now, or I just finished that actually. And then I've always got a couple of books going everywhere. There's another one that's called Resilient Downtowns that's not very exciting, but it's informative. So I have to read that earlier in the afternoon, evening, because it's a little bit more academic.
Yeah.
And I've got to be able to pay attention to it. So those are kind of the 2 hot spots right now.
Gotcha.
Trying to think what else is on my shelf that, I know. The Covenant of Water, Abraham Verghese. Okay. I have it. I read his Cutting for Stone a few years back, which was amazing. So that's on my shelf. That's probably the one I'm going to start next because he's an incredible storyteller.
I'll have to look at that.
And I read Barbara Kingsolver about this time last year. Oh my gosh, what's the name of it? Demon Copperhead.
Oh,
have you read that?
I just finished it. You're speaking, yeah, Kisa, you're really speaking to mine. Like
Kristen Hanna, are you a Kristen Hanna reader too?
I haven't read Kristen Hanna yet, but I was working at the library when she was really popular, or when she started to get popular.
Okay.
I was like, I just haven't picked her up.
So her most recent one, The Women, is phenomenal. First of all, I appreciate her historical storytelling piece of it, but the description, so it's all combat nurses in Vietnam.
Oh, interesting.
So her description of what these women, and one woman in particular, is going through, like as a combat field nurse in Vietnam, she's very skilled, and it's been fun to watch her skill get sharper and her storytelling more vivid and more incredible over the years. So if you liked The Great Alone or The Nightingale, you'll really love The Women.
Okay, yeah.
What are you reading right now?
Well, I just finished Demon Copperhead.
Okay.
Like a week or so ago.
Okay.
So I've been like,
did you cry?
My brain. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Sobbing.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Kentucky, and
you are?
Yeah, not from that part, but from like the western side. But I have friends. I mean, it was an incredible book. How do you think Kalispell's public safety needs could be improved?
So we did a great job last year passing the safety levy. I'm very proud of our community for doing that. The law enforcement really needed that support and that kind of morale boost as well, to know the community was behind them. We need to finish that drill. So we've got to pass and get a new jail built. We also need mental health services back in our valley. And then in kind of amongst all of that, I would like to see us come together more on what public safety really looks like, so that it's not just law enforcement that we call and they're expected to show up, but that we can start to do some of our own neighborhood watch programs. I'd like to see families do more of what I know they're already doing, but to have some support, and if nothing else, just a crisp high five when they're looking out for each other. I'd like to see I just was talking to the daughter-in-law of one of my neighbors because I haven't seen her in a couple of days and wanted to know if she was doing okay. It's that kind of neighborhood community that I'd like to see more of, that I know will not only help public safety, but will also bring better and more communication to our law enforcement so that they can take care of the things that we can't take care of on our own.
Yeah.
So let's sum that up.
Yeah.
We've got to get the jail passed. We need more mental health, drug addiction, alcohol services back in our valley. And let's take good care of our neighbors.
Yeah. What kind of amenities or infrastructure would you like to see in Kalispell?
I think we've done a good job in Kalispell of starting the process of development and in some cases redevelopment. The Parkline Trail is beautiful. I'd like to see the vision of that carried out, where the Parkline Trail itself exists, but there's businesses and residential units and other kind of places that need to be built up and redeveloped along. That really speaks to my big dream for our town is that instead of looking at spreading so much out, I'd like to see us refocus and take care of and redevelop what's inside our existing city limits. So that might look like things that I don't even know about yet. But, where's our sewer? Where's our storm sewer? Where's our water? We know we're dealing with the PFAS situation. I wish that could have come up a little bit sooner and been dealt with a little bit better, a little bit more, openly. And so in that development and redevelopment of what I'm calling the core, so not just downtown, but the core of Kalispell, which is everything that's already been built. My hope too is that we can, and this is more of a human infrastructure, that we can come together and talk openly and directly and honestly without this divisive us versus them conversation about what the needs actually are in our community and what the constraints actually are in the community, and solve some problems together.
Okay, back to some fun questions.
Okay.
Are you a cat or dog person?
Dog all day.
Yeah. Do you have dogs?
2.
What kinds?
My girl, Sabre Shay, all of her dogs have middle names. Hank doesn't, but Sabre is a German Shepherd. She's a teeny tiny girl. She's 11 years old, just as loyal as the day is long. Mm-hmm. And then Hank, we've nicknamed him Hinkleton because he's kind of spoiled, but he's a Malinois Dutch Shepherd.
Oh,
and so he is a tank. He's a big boy.
Yeah. Oh, both great dogs.
Fantastic.
Great breeds.
Yeah.
You like to go to Moose's?
I do.
Do you like their pizza?
Love it.
What's your pizza order there?
So always family size, and it's a custom order: ground beef, pepperoni, black olives, sauerkraut, pepperoncinis.
Oh, okay.
I think I got it all.
That's so specific.
Yes, that's my husband put that combo together. So it's a family recipe.
Yeah. So we know housing affordability is an issue in this area. What would you do to try to address Kalispell's housing needs?
There's no silver bullet. It is, I say this a lot, that housing affordability, we are suffering the death of 1,000 paper cuts. So there are lots of little tiny things that are actually very difficult to put into place. The first thing we have to do is, again, get together, identify what the problems are, what the, it would take us a very long time to identify, I think, all of the problems, but there's some really big offenders in the room that I think we can put down on a piece of paper and just start tackling as a community. So not just the city and public works and development and building, but also the building community, the development community, the property owners, residents. I think we can all come together, even some of the lenders and banks in the area who are seeing from a different perspective where some of those affordability issues are. Very specifically, we have to look at ways to reduce the cost of installing and repairing and restoring infrastructure. It is a huge cost to put in a new sewer line or a new water line. And while the city has standards that we all want to have, right? They're also expensive. So how can we both meet the need of affordability, but at the same time respect the standards that keep our community safe? And instead of one party making those decisions, I would like to see all of us come together to make those decisions.
Yeah. Do you have an opinion about code enforcement?
Well, I wish that everybody would just take care of themselves. And, if everybody took care of their little 3x3 patch, we wouldn't have to have code enforcement. I think as our city gets bigger, unfortunately, we are going to have to put our foot down and do more enforcement. I hate the idea of adding more overhead to a city budget that already needs to be, in my opinion, revised and streamlined. So I think my official opinion would be, man, I don't want to have to do that. Is there any other way for us to do it?
Yeah. What was the last concert you went to?
Johnny Blue Skies, otherwise known as that's his new name, right? Johnny Blue Skies, and it was down at Kettle House Amphitheater.
Oh, cool. What was his old name?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Now I can't remember.
Well, I was trying to see if I've heard of him before, but
If we think of it, will you edit that out, and then we'll hold on. I can remember. He's like my favorite.
Is he a country artist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a country girl? Do you like country?
I do.
Cool. What's your favorite like throwback country song or artist?
Favorite throwback, well, for sure, is probably Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think we all, the dance, that was, right, that was high school for me. And then everybody loves some good Tanya Tucker.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Did you get to see her when she came?
I didn't.
Whitefish. Oh, she was great.
I didn't.
A fun fact is one of my friends from high school played guitar for her.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's really fun. Well, I also, I love country, but I'm also a huge Joan Jett fan. And I was bummed that I didn't get to see her. We were down in Bozeman visiting our kids for that concert that weekend, I think. But I had my little punk rock side coming in high school that I still hold on to some of that music. And then, of course, Nirvana, all the 90s grunge rock.
Yeah.
But if I'm really in the mood to just listen to some feel-good music, it's always a country station.
Yeah. Would you lobby for a local option sales tax?
Yes. The property taxes are out of control, and it is hurting everyone in our valley. Particularly, I see it hurting the businesses, the commercial property owners and business owners, and also just regular residents in Kalispell. There's kind of a myth, I think, that people who don't own homes aren't affected by property taxes, but let me tell you, that is a myth. Because if you have a home that you're renting out or an apartment that you're renting out and your property taxes increase and your insurance increases, or the cost for you to just maintain that property increases, that cost gets passed on to the renters. So property tax is an issue for everyone in this valley. For the folks in Kalispell, our property taxes are used to maintain and run our city, public safety, infrastructure, even the amenities. But we're not the only ones who use those amenities, right? Folks from just over the city line in the county use those, and the 3 million visitors that we have coming through our city use our amenities. So I would like for some of the share of that, the responsibility to be shared among the folks who are actually using what we have. I think there's another myth that just because there's a sales tax means that everything all the time for everyone is taxed. There are ways that we can figure that out. And I think there's a lot of nuances to that as a solution, but I do believe that that's a solution that deserves a keen eye and some pencil to paper to figure out. Do you have any more fun questions?
Oh, I have, yeah.
Okay, good.
A few more. What's your walk-up song? You're walking into the stadium, you're letting everybody know who you are. What's your walk-up song?
I love rock and roll.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
One of the big ones. Also, anything by Missy Elliott. I mean, you can't go wrong with Missy Elliott. Those are kind of the two that are on my playlist right now for my workouts.
Yeah, Missy Elliott will get you pumped up.
Oh, yeah. Every time.
Do you like history?
I do.
If you could have a conversation with anyone in history, who would you pick?
Well, two folks. I'd probably pick Abraham Lincoln, because I'm just fascinated by how he learned to think the way that he thought. And I'd like to ask him questions about kind of what brought him to be the president that he was. And then I would really like to talk to my grandma Eva, my great-grandma Eva. She was a pastor's wife on the plains of Kansas, and I'm actually reading some of her memoirs right now, and I have so many more questions. But she was in Kansas during the Great Depression, and that's where I'm from, Western Kansas, and that period of time, The Worst Hard Time is another fantastic book about life on the prairie during the Great Depression. I'm fascinated by that. I want to know more.
So what role do you think the mayor should play in leading Kalispell?
That's a great question. So on paper, the mayor's position is kind of a glorified council member, right? Mm-hmm. The tie-breaking vote, You get to sign all the paperwork, use the gavel,
Yep.
call the meeting, set the agenda. But really, I think the mayor is a conduit between staff and council, a conduit between City Hall and the community. The mayor also sets a culture. So are we going to be a council that gets together and fights? Are we going to be a council that gets together and collaborates and cooperates? Are we going to respect each other's differences and opinions? Are we going to laugh? Are we going to tell jokes? Is it going to be strictly business? And I'm not saying that any one of those is the right way, but the mayor gets to decide what that culture is, in the same way, really, that every council member gets to decide what that culture is. And really, we all get to decide what the culture is when we show up anywhere, any day. I think one of my favorite parts of every day, this I think goes back actually to a question you asked earlier, where do I find myself often? The grocery store. My running joke is when I leave, I say, okay, see you tomorrow, because I'm there every day. But a long time ago, I thought, this is years and years ago, I thought, what if you just said hi, even when you didn't feel like saying hi? Like, what if you just smiled, even when you didn't feel like smiling? What if you pay attention to, the beautiful blouse you're wearing? What if you pay attention to, how does that change not only people, but how does that change me when I show up that way? I've done it both ways, and I'm happier when I show up involved. I'm happier when I show up interested and concerned, and I make better decisions.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kisa. This has been really fun.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
Since 1912, the Kalispell Grand Hotel has welcomed travelers to the heart of downtown Kalispell. A century of history echoes through its halls, from the original architecture to the stories of guests who made it their home away from home. Today, the tradition continues. Historic charm meets modern comfort, just steps from local shops, restaurants, and the beauty of Montana's Flathead Valley. Experience history. Stay at the Kalispell Grand Hotel. Visit kalispellgrand.com to book your stay today.